So, my name is Malachi Tab, and today my leadership quality is listening. Listen up. I believe the key to someone's heart is through your ears. I believe listening is the key to one's heart and understanding someone. So, we'll start it off, the strong versus the weak. My mom always says, if the loudest person in the room is the weakest, then guess who's the strongest? And I believe is the one who listens the most. Whoever listens the most is gathering the most knowledge and information, therefore grants them discernment and gives them ability to have better relationships and everything. Like listening gives you the power, power. And that's one of my biggest points is that leader, that listening gives you power. And two, that, listening is the key to someone's heart. So if you want to get to know someone for real and what they're really about and really know them and their soul, is just to listen to them, just hear what they have to say and give them the time of the day. I'm big on giving someone the time of the day. I listen to custodians, deans, everything, and that's my credibility right there. My mom used to always tell me that learn something new today. And I didn't really know what that meant until I got to college and went to church every Sunday. And that basically means, man, just close your mouth and listen. The more you listen, the more you learn. And then my third point is just simply running as a well-oiled machine. You have to listen to each other. You can't run as a well-oiled machine if you're not listening to each other. And here's just a little quote, speak less, and just listen more. Cause God gave you two ears and one mouth for a reason. That's what they say, and I'm a firm believer in that as well. I feel like you should listen at least as twice as much as you speak. Um, and listening to other people's story, Barack Obama said it's not just about empathy, but it's about like expanding your own perspective. So for example, as a graduate assistant in the dean's office, I work with some Nigerian-born individuals, and they told me how to make jollof rice, and that's a signature rice that they have, and they have at parties because they smoke it. I listened to them, and I learned how to make it, and I brought it back to them, and they loved it. Just that's a quick example of just showing that me just simply listening to them and understanding them and their culture allowed us to connect, and even business wise, since we're in a business class, monetary wise, I can take that and form a business off of it. If it's that good that true Nigerians love it, I can sell it to even more individuals. So I believe that listening to people's stories is not just about empathy, but it's about, expanding your own perspective as a whole. I listen to others to be able to relate to the next person in the future. If I listen to you and I learn a little bit of Spanish because you're Hispanic, the next time I meet a Hispanic, I'll be able to relate with them more. But if I never ask that Hispanic anything about their culture, I would never know anything. I would be ignorant. Also, my favorite one about listening is just from Bishop Dale C. Bonner, my bishop at church, is just listening is the key that unlocks a person's heart for you. I believe that, the more you listen, the deeper you can get with someone and the stronger that relationship is. And how could you have commitment without listening? How could you have discernment without listening? How could you be a servant? How could you represent servanthood well if you don't listen? I think 90% of these leadership qualities that we have stems off of listening. Teachability. How could you be teachable or coachable if you don't listen? Um, so this is my favorite one. I feel like I've touched a lot of hearts, just listening to them and their problems and their passions, and just growing closer to my coworkers as well as family, my father, my mother, sisters, just listen to them, what they love, what they dislike, and then you'll understand someone more. I don't think I've ever forgot a birthday. I am an expert in listening, and I continue to listen more, and I believe the more you listen, the more you grow, and I don't plan on stop growing anytime soon. So I hope you guys gather that there's power in listening. Simply closed mouth, open ears, power. And that also leader listening is the key to someone's heart. I hope you guys can understand that. And also, in order to run a well-oiled machine, we have to listen to each other. And those are my three big points I want you guys to understand and just listen. It's big. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Have a great day. Blessed day.